One day, the birds of the world, those we know and those that nobody knows, all gathered together for a great conference. When they were met, the hoopoe, trembling with anticipation, placed herself in the midst. "Dear birds, I am troubled. Whatever I look, I see nothing but quarrel, desperate fights for a scrap of territory, war for a few grain of corn. This can't go on. For years I have travelled by sea and land. I have covered vast distances, and I know many secrets. Listen to me. We have a king. We must find him, otherwise we are lost." "A king? We have had enough of king. What the use of another king?" "Listen, feather brains. I am speaking of our true king. He lives behind the mound called Kaf. His name is Simorg. He is the king of birds. He is close to us and we are far from him. The way to him is unknown, and only a man with a lion's heart dare to take it. I can't make the journey alone, but if you don't reach him, I'll die of shame." "Are we sure the Simorg exists?" "Yes. One of his feathers fell on China in the middle of the night, and his reputation filled the world. This sign of his existence is a token of his glory. A drawing was made of his feather, and there is a trace of it on every heart. Look." "What's written there?" "Seek knowledge even in China." "Yes, let's go. I am very impatient to know my sovereign. I am at the bottom of a well, and I'll snatch at any cord. Let's go."
I, the falcon, have a king's hand for a hoe. I am disciplined, and I perform many duties to the letter. Why should I wish to see the Simorg? Even in a dream, I do not feel called to this journey. The hand of a king is honor enough for me. My only wish in life is to stay close to him.
A wise man keeps well away from the king. This king give a slave a robe of honor. The slave went through the streets wearing it. It was hot and gust of wind covered him with dust. So the slave wiped his face with the sleeves of his robe, like this. At once the king had impaled.
So,
Another king learned that a beggar had fallen passionately in love with him and was proclaiming his love throughout the kingdom. I love my king, I only love my king. Hey you, come here. Since you love me with such devotion, choose. Either you go into exile or you have your head cut off. I prefer exile. Cut off his head.
but he is innocent. He loves you. Why must he die?
He is no true lover. He prefers his head.
I'm listening. I don't understand what you are trying to say.
A king had a handsome slave whom he loved dearly. He gave him the most beautiful clothes and never let him out of his sight. Each day the slaves put an apple on his head and the king practiced his archery. Why is the slave so pale? Wouldn't you see? When the arrow reached its mark, all the court applauded the king. But unfortunately, one day the slave was wounded. Scandal! I'm the best archer in the kingdom. It's his fault. He must have moved. Finish him off.
Why do you answer me with stories?
A tyrant is not a king. To escape the journey, the birds found countless excuses, and to convince them to go, the hippo told countless stories, but often nothing could outweigh their fear. No, no, no. Go if you wish. I, the duck, I'm not going. I, who am purity itself. I, who live my life in water. Who can live on water like me? I must be very special. No, no, no. I'm not going. Nor me neither. I'm special too. I'm a partridge. My life is precious stones. Love of jewels has lit a fire in my heart. This love has bound me to the mountain where I find my stones. Impossible to leave it. Water's my food, and water's my dwelling. When I have worries, water washes them away. I don't like dry land. How can I leave my water? I eat jewels and I sleep on jewels, for jewels are eternal. Either I find precious stones or I die. Farewell, duck. Farewell, partridge. Listen to me. The Simorg is hidden behind a veil. When he appears outside the veil, even for an instant, his face is as radiant as the sun, and he casts thousands of shadows on the earth. These shadows are birds. You are no more than the shadows of the Simorg. So, does it matter if you live or die? If the Simorg had wished to remain hidden, he would never cast his shadow. But he did, and as no one can look him in the face, he made a mirror so that all can see his reflection. What is this mirror? It is your heart.
Why do you always speak in riddles?
Guess. I'm Heron, impatient, very impatient to go, but I'm afraid. What exactly is this king? Please try to explain. Look at this princess. One day, while taking a walk, she saw a slave of extraordinary beauty, and her heart was hers no longer. What it is? I'm drunk with love. I'm ready to sacrifice my honor and my life. For love of a slave? Yes, it is forbidden, I know. Yet, if I don't speak with him, I shall die in anguish. What do you wish exactly? I want to enjoy him without his knowing. I went in secret to the slave and asked him, as if in play, for 2 cups of wine. I poured a strong narcotic into his cup, and he soon swooned away. When night came, we carried him secretly to the princess. We put him on a golden throne and placed a coronet of pearls upon his head. At midnight, he opened his eyes.
Where am I? What is this place? These carpets, these candles, scented with amber, this music. Who are you? I'm dazzling by your beauty. I'm amazed. I've neither wits nor life. I'm no longer in this world, nor yet in another.
Are you thirsty?
My mouth's on fire.
Here is wine. All night long, the wine glowed like a sun in the candle night. All night long the eye of the slave never left the princess' brow. All night long as she made love to him, she wept. The slave stayed in this kind of vision until dawn. Then another portion put him to sleep again, and he has taken back to where he had been before. What's the matter? What is it?
Where are we?
What do you mean? Where are we?
What happened? Help me.
The night is over. Why are you shouting?
Alas, alas.
What's got into you? Calm down.
What I've seen, no one will ever see. No one.
What have you seen? Can't you speak?
I can't. I've lost my mind. What I've seen in another body. I heard nothing, but I heard everything. I saw nothing, yet I saw everything.
You have been dreaming.
I don't know if I've been dreaming. I don't know if I was drunk.
Where are you going?
I don't know where, but I must go. I must go.
Just a minute. Just a minute. What is it, parrot? Some vile people have locked me in a cage because I'm so charming. So? I long to touch the simog wings, but I can't. I'm in cage. Every morning they bring me sugar. I've a gold collar. My cage is all I need. I like my cage. You have no idea of happiness. You think you have the almond, but all you have is the shell. And you, peacock.
What? Me?
You want to come?
Never. I'm not a bird like the others. I was driven from my kingdom. I am waiting in exile for the generous soul that will give me back my throne. What's the simog to me? Look, my 100,000 colors.
I see your 100,000 colors and your 2 ugly feet. Your kingdom is hardly a drop in the ocean. So why not have the ocean? Where are you off to, Sparrow? Me? Yes, you who were so eager to leave. Oh, me, I'm too weak. I'm as frail as a hare. I haven't the strength of an ant. Of course, I long to see the Simorg, but how can I, weakling like me, make the journey? I'd die on the way. Do you remember this man? He was a saint, more perfect than words can utter. In him, science and wisdom shared an equal place. In the world, he like a banner, an incomparable example to mankind. When he was about to be executed, he only spoke this word, An-al-Haq. I am the truth. So, to punish him, they cut off his hands and his feet. Blood poured from his body, and he grew pale. But at once this man drew the stumps of his wrists across his face, saying, "Blood gives color to man's cheeks. I will use my blood today to make my face blaze. I do not wish to appear pale to anyone. They might take it for fear. I want to be red. When the executioner turns towards me, he will see before him a brave man. The world is no more than a spineless corpse. Why should I be afraid?" So, you have no more to say? Are you so afraid of death? This bird only cares for his cage, that one won't leave his pond or his mountain. This one takes himself for an ant, that one for a king. This carcass of a world is seething with creatures, all of them saying, "Why give up our peaceful pleasure?" But what does the heart say? Just when the birds were quivering with excitement at the idea of leaving, they heard the nightingale sing. A world of secrets is hidden in its song. When he sang of these mysteries, the other birds fell silent. The secrets of love are known to me. All night I repeat my song of love. All the time I teach new mysteries. Whoever hears me loses his reason. When spring comes and the rose breathes her gentle perfume into the world, my heart opens with joy, my sorrow vanishes. When she doesn't show herself, I keep silent. Not everyone knows my secrets, but the rose knows them all. So deep in love am I with the roses, then I haven't a thought for myself. I desire nothing but the rose. The journey to the Simorg is beyond my strength. The love of the rose is enough for the nightingale. How could I spend a single night away from my love? Do you know the king's daughter smiled to the dervish? No? Tell. A king had a daughter as fair as the moon, loved by all the world. Her look was remote as though filled with dreams or sweet vision, and it awakened passion wherever she went. Jealousy of her lips made rubies of the first water dry away, while if sugar had tasted her breath, it would melt it from shame. As fate would have it, a poor dervish saw this glittering moon and was instantly overcome. The poor man had in his hand a little round loaf, which he dropped in the dust. Seeing the dervish, the princess smiled. Then, like a flame, she was gone. At the sight of her smile, the dervish fell to the ground. He could no longer sleep, neither by day nor night. Love of the princess had ravaged his soul. Is this night everlasting? Will I never know more days? Where is the lamp of heaven? O Lord, what is the meaning of this darkness? It is as long and as black as her hair. In this night, my love runs wild and devours me. Where is my life to offer it up in anguish? Where is my patience? Where is my reason? Where are my stars to draw me to my desire? Where is my hand to put dust on my head? Where is my foot to walk to my love? Psst! You, asleep there? Here, raise your head. Princess, go away. Listen to me. I can't. No, don't send me away. My people are sick of seeing you there. They want to cut off your head. The day I fell in love with you, I washed my hands of life. I'm ready to sacrifice my life for you if you wish it. Without you, I am a friendless, frightened, often alone. I have cast away the world as well as my life. Open your door and let me in. Your breath is cold, your desire are vain. Wrap yourself in your shroud. You can't inspire love. Go away. Every night I play away my life at the end of your street. You are the sun, I'm the shadow. How can I exist without you? Nothing is possible between us. Nothing. I've told you, so go away. Nothing. Nothing. Save your head and disappear. Reply at least to one question. What question? When we met, you smiled at me. Yes. Why? When I saw you, I knew you were going to make the fool of yourself. So I smiled. But it wasn't from love. It was from pity. Farewell, ignorant one. The rose never smiles. Each new spring, the rose laughs at the nightingale. Choose a love that doesn't die. All. What's your excuse?
Oh, me. I live alone in a house that's falling apart. I was born in ruins. I enjoy them. I'm at home there. I know hundreds of inhabited places, but they are full of confusion and hatred. If you want to live in peace, find a ruin.
You live like a wretch in your ruins because you hope to find a buried treasure.
Treasure? Yes, no doubt. Treasures always buried in ruins. I love gold. I can't go after the Simorg. I only like ruin and treasure.
Well, I smell fear. Me too. Fear at night has a special smell. Two men are coming this way. The smell of fear is coming too. A very strong smell. Heart, your money, your belonging. Let me pass. I have nothing. Pass. And you? Not me. I've nothing. Nothing? Nothing? Yet you stink of fear. Let me feel you. I told you, I have nothing. Let me pass like my friend. Take off your clothes. My clothes? Hurry! You see, I have nothing. I told you. Why tear my clothes?
Then why the smell of fear?
Smell of fear? What smell of fear? We need an answer before you go. You are afraid. If you have nothing, why are you afraid? I'm not afraid. I'm not... So, there, where you have hidden it. Gold is like a lame ass. It has weight but no value. Go back and bury yourself in your ruins. One day I earned 2 pieces of silver. I put 1 piece in one hand and 1 in the other. If I had put both pieces in one hand, I wouldn't slept a wink. You are still not sure? A man made a journey to Persia. When he came home, he was weak, penniless, half blind. His friends asked him, "What happened?" He replied, I was walking past a house. The door was open. Inside, I saw silent men. They were pure, and each of them had a flask of cloudy wine. That's all I know, except that I lost everything. Then his friends asked him, "What did they do to you?" The man replied, "They simply said, 'Enter.'"
What's the meaning of this story?
They simply said, "Enter."
Why must we give up our lives?
Why this need for a terrible journey? Where will we find the strength? Birds without ambition, button up your beaks. Stop calling yourself ants and beggars. Swallow your excuses. Love loves difficult things. It set fire to each harvest. Don't hesitate. Let childhood go. Put your best foot forward and beat your wings. If everyone burns, we'll burn too. Away! At first, they had to cross an endless desert where the scorching wind never drew breath. Sometimes the earth seemed to groan beneath them. At the other times, the only sound was silence. Why is the way so bare? What will we eat and drink? I'm hot. My eyes ache. Tell us what to expect tomorrow and the day after. Describe to us life at the Simoke's court.
How should we behave? Tell us if you know.
The wind's making me cry. I can't see past my wings. I give up. I'm ridden with guilt. Come, fly, don't despair. I can't, I'm rotten to the core. Me too, I'm quitting, I feel I'm quitting. Why? Why? You ask me? Haven't I told you? I'm effeminate and unreliable. All I ever do is hop from branch to branch. One day I let myself go. The next day I pull myself together. And besides, I'm not sincere. Who is? Your heart's full of rust. Flew and clean it. Sometimes I get drunk. And so? At the other times, I only drink water. I don't know why. What will you drink in the desert? Your blood, perhaps? I can't go any farther. Why not, bird? Because I'm my own worst enemy. Don't you see? I've a thief inside me. I don't know him, but he is there. I can see him. If I go any farther, he'll attack me and I'll die. I knew a very old grave digger, and I asked him, "You have spent all your life digging tombs. What marvel have you seen?" "I've only one marvel," he answered. "I've dug tombs for 70 years, but I've never once buried my desire." It's growing dark. Let's stop for the night. What's up? Ding-chicka-ding-chicka-ding. What are you doing there? We're resting. Why are you resting? Do I ever rest? We're tired. Have you any news of the sun? No, not since last night. Then get up, go back, quick! You are in great danger. Come on, get up! What danger? What are you talking about, Bat? Come on, up! I know what I'm saying. I haven't seen the sun for ever so long. I've been flying for years and years, always in the dark. I've flown so long, I've lost my wings and feathers, and I tell myself, perhaps I've flown beyond the sun. What conceit! You are out of your mind. You have quite simply lost your way. Lost my way? Me? I've searched so hard in the dark for news of the sun that I've come out on the opposite side. You are dreaming. You say you have lost your wings and your feathers looking for the sun, but in the dark you couldn't even see the way. How could you go anywhere? You are like an ant at the bottom of a well, hoping to reach the moon. If you want to sleep, then sleep. The night is waiting for me. I'm going into the dark to ask for news of the sun. Ding! Ding, 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 ding. The bat flies and disappears. The birds sleep. Some birds are afraid and they steal away. At first, there were many hundreds and hundreds of birds. The birds that set off filled the world, but many fell by the way. Others left secretly during the night. The night is over, the lights return. Each morning, those that remained took off again. The birds wake, shake the feathers and fly off. One day, from high in the sky, they saw a little speck, motionless, in the desert. As they drew nearer, they saw it was a hermit. They fly above the hermit. The hoopoe calls out, "Oh-ho! Oh-ho! Oh-ho! Oh-ho!" The birds settle around him. He is a hermit with a long beard. The hoopoe asks, "You are still here?" "Yes, still here." "Tell me, have you found the answer?" "What answer?" "To your question." "No, I haven't found the answer." "What's the question?" "Yes, what's the question?" "You really want to know?" The birds make affirmative noises. "Very well. Listen. I was, I think, a fairly honest man. I had a wife, children. For some time I suffered from a gigantic longing for aubergines. The desire to eat aubergines never left me, day nor night. At the same time, I told myself, something told me that if I ate aubergines, a disaster will occur. I tried to think of other things about my work, my family, oranges, sheep. But I always ended up with aubergine. He stops for a moment. The birds are careful not to put questions. In the end, you can imagine, my desire triumphed. My mother bought me an aubergine. She cooked it very well, and I began to eat. But I had hardly eaten half the aubergine. Then there was a knock at the door. A man came in and put my son's head on the ground. They had just cut off the head of my son. So I decided I would spend the rest of my life trying to find the connection between eating aubergines and the chopped off head of my son. I gave up everything, absolutely everything. Came here, and since that day I am searching for the answer. And you have found nothing? Nothing. In the meantime, how do you live in the desert? As you see, I ruminate. He stays in silence for a moment, combing his long beard with a crudely made comb. Suddenly, the dove begins to laugh. The hermit looks at her in surprise and asks, "Why are you laughing?" "I'm laughing because I know why." "Why? What?" "Why you haven't found the answer." "And why haven't I found the answer?" "Because you don't think about your question." "What do you mean? I think of nothing else." "You are wrong. You only think about your beard." The hermit stops combing his beard and says, "You are right. I see that you are right. You are absolutely right. Listen, one day I'd only been here a few months, years perhaps. Suddenly, on the ground, I saw something shining, a shiny stone. I picked it up. Look, here it is. It's a piece of mica. When I look at myself in the mica, I had a magnificent beard. So, in a flash, I got a piece of wood, cut it into a comb, and I began looking after my beard in hand, combing it, nursing it. As he talks, he gets more and more carried away, furious with himself. "And you are right. I only thought of my beard. Before it was an aubergine, and tucked away in the desert it was a beard. My whole life was devoted to my beard." He gets up, began to pull out his beard, throwing the hairs right and left. "But it's over. You'll see. I'm going to tear you out, vile beard. I rip you off. I give you to the wind. Go, beard, gone. Not a hair left, not one." At this moment, the dove begins to laugh again. The hermit stops, dumbfounded, looks at her and asks, "Why are you laughing?" why I'm laughing? Because even now you are only thinking of your beard. All the birds burst out laughing. They leave the hermit alone in the desert, in the midst of the debris. The hoopoe says, "Come on, birds! The wind is joyful. Pull yourself together and spread your wings. Come, lazy birds! Come, you curious birds, away!" They resume their flight across the desert. If we reach the Simog, what should we ask him? Ask him to grant you your dearest wish. My dearest wish is to see him. Then ask for nothing. Tell me, what present can we bring? Take to the land of the Simog what cannot be found there already. He knows everything. He has everything. Then take your love and your suffering. Look! Down there! Where? Isn't it a bird walking? A bird appears walking slowly across the desert. The birds settle around him. Where are you coming from? Are you alone? Why don't you use your wings? The bird answers without stopping.
I took a vow to cross the desert on foot, walking. I wanted to see the Simorg.
And you saw him? So I set out on foot and I crossed the desert. It must have been painful.
I walked for 14 years.
And you come to the end of the desert?
Yes.
It is still far?
On foot, it's hard to tell.
And you have seen the Simorg? What's he like?
The Simorg? No, I haven't seen the Simorg. When I got to the end of the desert, I said to myself, here is the kingdom that I've been praying for so fervently. I've kept faith with my vow. I decided to turn back.
you abandoned, seeing the Simog?
I couldn't perfect myself farther. I've reached my limit. It was useless to go on.
And you're still walking?
Still walking. I must be true to my vow. Bon voyage.
The walking bird goes. The birds resume their flight. A storm hits them. They are weak, near to death. Look at those bleached bodies beneath our wings. They were once brave birds like us. Death was waiting for them just here. The farther I go, the more I'm afraid to die. I think the next obstacle will finish me. Don't you know that all life, long or short, is only a breath? If you are born, you die. You turn into earth and the wind blows you away. You are just earth and a drop of water. At this moment, an old man appears from the desert and cries, "What do you know about death?" No man, old or young, has ever put his finger to death. How do you know? Who are you? I live here at the far end of the desert. I've retired from the world. I see foolhardy travelers pass by, and I say to them, "Give me your bag of bones. Where you are going, you won't need it." He tries to grab the birds who resist. "Is this where we die?" If you want to continue, some things got to go. You see, I've seen the phoenix die. He makes to go. The birds catch hold of him. "The phoenix? You have seen the phoenix? The phoenix exists. The phoenix dies?" "Yes, I've seen it. It's an extraordinary bird. Its beak is amazingly long and hard, and it's pierced with holes like a flute. Each of these holes makes a sound and has its own special secret. When he makes music with his beak, this excites the birds and the fish. The most ferocious animals are in rapture. Then They all fall silent. The phoenix lives about 1,000 years and knows precisely the hour of his death. When his time comes, he gathers around him a heap of leaves and from the deepest recesses of his pure heart he draws put cries of grief. As he speaks, he lays out on the ground a long black cloth. All the birds come to watch this sight. All follow his example and accept to die. One by one, the characters place on the great black cloth their birds' forms. When they have finished, the old man resumes. When the phoenix is close to his last breath, he opens his wings and ruffles his feathers. This makes fire. The fire lights the leaves. Soon bird, wood, everything is reduced to living coals and then to ashes. But when the last spark has flickered out, a tiny phoenix appears in the middle of the burning ash. In the silence that follows, they all lift their eyes slowly toward the sky as though watching the new phoenix in flight. All my life I've measured the wind. When this life leaves me, bury me where you wish, and good night. He disappears. Suddenly, one of the birds stands up. It is the falcon. Look! The others surround him, trying to see. What do you see? Over there, a mountain, and the way into a valley. Do you see? No, I can't see nothing. Yes, straight ahead. Yes, I see it. Over there. We have arrived. We have crossed the desert. Oh, steady, birds. Keep calm. Make no mistake. We haven't arrived. The journey's not over. What are you saying? The desert is only an ante-room. But all our wounds, if you have wounds, don't tell anyone. The real suffering starts here. I'm off. I'm going back. No bird has ever crossed the desert a second time alive. We can't go any farther, and we can't go back. Chase all terrors from your soul. Listen to me. We have 7 valleys to cross, one by one. In each valley there is secret. We have got to understand. No one crossed the 7 valleys has ever returned. So, I don't know exactly what's waiting for us on the other side. Do you know the name of the valleys? The first is the Valley of Quest. Enter. Search. You will need great patience to be patient. A man appears singing and obstinately sifting earth through a sieve. The birds watch him for a moment with curiosity, then the dove asks, "What are you looking for?" "I am trying to find my way." "Is this how you hope to find it?" "I must look everywhere if I want to find it somewhere." The man goes away, still searching. Most people go on farther, but we have risked everything to grasp the perfection of an atom. We must plunge like madmen, with only our folly to lean on. A ball rolls into sight. It is hit by a man holding a mallet. He is followed by another man playing a violin and spinning in rhythm with the ball. The Vulcan asks, "Why are you turning? Why are you watching the ball?" "Because it is in movement, like he is. It's lost, like he is. They both have neither head nor foot. The ball knows him, and he knows the ball. They speak to one another, but the ball is happier than he is." "Why?" "Because I touch it from time to time with my stick." "What is the riddle?" "He is like the ball, but he suffers more than the ball. Each time I hit the ball, it and the mullet become one. But he is parted from his love, and he feels the blow in his heart. The two characters leave. The birds remain dumbstruck. The hoopoe tries to help them. In this valley, you must be headless, footless, and plunge into love with all your being. They begin to move their head, then their arms. The Vulcan speak. I've never known love. Love frightens me. It leaves off pain and takes blood from the heart. It puts a saw to its own throat and cuts its own body. I am afraid. My child, to be wise, you need to play at love. Love kills you, but every moment it gives you strength. Don't despise yourself, because nothing is beyond your reach. All that's made by angels is made for you. The heron draws the sparrow into the other bird's movement. This movement becomes more and more abundant. In the end, they drop to the ground exhausted. The hoopoes speak. Rest a little. We have crossed the valley of love. The exhausted birds lie down and sleep. The first to wake is the falcon. Who sent us this strange sleep? Hoopoe, what happened while we were sleeping? In the first valley you CIRT, in the second valley you burn with love. Now we are in the valley of understanding. But why we were put asleep? To tell us, stay awake. You are climbing the path of ecstasy. No one agrees on the length of this path. You go forward in your own time. Stay on guard. Don't let anyone pass during the night without crying, "Who goes there?" Don't sleep. Watch your heart. There are thieves abroad. Suddenly, one hears sobbing. The birds see a man enter, crying and taking something grim his eyes. What have you found in your eyes? What have you found in your eyes? I'm taking out my tears one by one. Do you keep it? Of course. Can you see? They become stones, wondrous, precious stones. He showed her a tear, holding it between two fingers. I've quite a collection. Do you want to see them? Please. All my tears are here. Look, which do you like best? They are all exquisite. Do you want one? You want this one? I can easily get more. In this moment, the hoopoe says to the dove forcefully, "Come away, dove, on!" Just a moment. You have seen the beauty of these stones. Come, don't let anything stop you. Whatever stops you become an idol. The dove separates herself regretfully from the stones and joins the other birds. They enter the fourth valley. In an instant, this wind can ravage an immense void. Here, the seven oceans are just a pool. The seven planets, a mere speck. The seven heavens, a corpse. The seven hells, splintered eyes. Here, the ant has the strength of 100 elephants, and one cannot tell why. What is this valley? It is not as easy to cross as you might think. If you halt, you turn to stone and you die. If you continue to the end of time, you hear a cry. "On!" said the hoopoe. Two characters appear. One holds a board covered with sand. The other speaks. Have you ever seen birds? An astrologer set up a tablet and cover it with sand. He traced the stars and the planets, the heavens and the earth. the zodiac. He reads omens, good and bad. He finds the house of birth and of death. Then he takes the tablet by a corner and scatters the sand. I see no meaning to my existence. Everything I've said and everything I've done is nothing. There is nothing but wind in my hand. All that was, all that will be, good or bad, is only an atom. What does it matter if the races survive, since hundreds of thousands of worlds are reduced to dust? Is it strange that our world will also vanish? We have come to the place where there is nothing, to the valley of annihilation. But take care, even nothing has a secret. The hoopoe signals the birds to listen to the astrologer again. Listen, if you saw the world burn until hearts were ashes, this would only be a dream. Even if everything were wiped away from the fish to the moon, you would still find at the bottom of a well a lame ant's paw, and it could all begin again. Even if the two worlds were suddenly annihilated, do not deny the existence of a single grain of sand. If there were no trace left, neither of man nor of jinns, consider the secret of the drop of water. After a moment of silence, the hoopoe resumed. Forward! Nothing is as dangerous as standing still. Seasoned travelers, you will perish before the goal. Look! In front of them they see three objects: a palm tree, a scorpion, and a man, a human, modeled in wax. A palm tree, a scorpion, and a man. They try to understand the meaning of this display. What's the difference between these three things? I don't know. Nor I. I see it. He kneads the wax objects together until they make a ball. Listen. Listen to the secret of the wax. Although you see many people, they are in reality only a few, only one. It is the Valley of Unity. And the scorpion has disappeared. The scorpion, he is in you. Very well. concealed. You'd think he is asleep, but if you touch him, however lightly, he'll be as strong as 100 dragons, and he'll bite you savagely through the dust of your tomb. At this moment reappears the slave whom we have already seen, who a narcotic drug had taken one night to a princess. He wanders in this place wild in perpetual amazement. Haven't we seen you before?
Yes, you saw me when I was alive. I spent a night beside a princess from nothing can equal. I saw her and yet I didn't see her. I touched her and I didn't touch her. Nothing in the world is as amazing as something that is neither clear nor unclear.
Where are we? When the travelers enters the sixth valley, he disappears, as does the earth on which he walks, and he remains astonished. What can the mind do here? It stays on the threshold like the child born blind. We are crossing the valley of amazement. Is there still another valley? Yes, but this one cannot be described. I see nothing. I hear nothing. I'm frozen with terror. Is this the valley of death? Birds in torment, listen to me. The last step is the most difficult. At first, a being is noticed, surrounded with care. He grows. The death comes and wipes all away. He is no more than the dust in the road. But at that instant, he learns thousands of secrets that he ignored. What secrets? What use are they? Why buy them with our lives? Look. A figure comes with a candle, another brings moth. The first figure tells. One day the moths met together, tormented by a longing to be united with the candle. The first moth went to a faraway castle and saw inside the light of a candle. He or she came back and told what he or she had seen, but the wise moth that presided over the meeting said, And so the birds listen very attentively.
A second moth went closer to the candle. He touched the flame with his wings, but the heat drove him or her away. He or she came back. Her or his wings burnt, and described her or his adventure. But the wise moth said,
So what? Then a third moth rose up, drunk with love. He clasped the flame with his or her forelegs and embraced it passionately. His or her limbs became red like the fire. He or she and the flame become one. Then the wise moth, who had been watching from a distance, said to the other,
He or she has learned what he or she wanted to know, but only he or she understands. That's all.
The two figures withdraw. The birds stay silent for a moment. Then they look around, and the falcon asks the hoppers, Are we alive or dead? Where is the simog? Let us see him now that we have crossed the valley. The hoopoe answered, The valleys? What valleys? The 7 valleys we have been through. You have gone through nothing, birds. The valley were only a mystery, a dream, a shadow in your brains. Look, we are still in the same place. The birds stay motionless for a moment. The hoopoe comes forward to tell us. Hoopoe. The birds dropped their heads and their hearts bled. Some died on the spot, the others set off once more. The birds stay motionless while the hoopoe continues. They traveled year after year and almost all perished, devoured by thirst, shriveled by sun, torn apart by wild beasts. Some of them stopped, petrified by what they saw on the way. Others forgot the object of their search and were lost. Only a few reached the goal, broken, worn out, old. The simog. 30 birds. At this moment, a chamberlain appears and asks,
Where are you from, birds?
We come from far.
For what purpose?
to see the Simorg, our king.
What can he do with a useless handful of earth like you? Go away.
We have made the great journey. The king can't refuse us after so many ordeals.
Addled brains, you have only complaints to offer. Go back.
The way back means death.
Your life is nothing in the universe. 1,000 worlds full of creatures is like an ant at the gate of this king. Be off.
Don't reject us. Where can we go? We are burning with love for the king. Chamberlain, open the door. Let us see him. Don't reject us. Have pity.
Go.
The Chamberlain closes the door and goes away, leaving the birds alone. Hoopoe. Even the hoopoe lost courage. Forgive me, birds, he said. It was mad of me to lead you on this long journey. It is my fault that we are exhausted and lost. I was mistaken. Like you, I was fooled by my own illusion. At this moment, the Chamberlain reappears. He looks at the miserable state of the birds and says to them,
You are still there?
They do not nor answer. Holding sticks, he comes up to them, saying,
I will lead you to the Simorg. Come.
They summon their last ounce of strength. They get up and each takes a stick. They follow the movement of the Chamberlain. In the end, the hoopoe says, a door was opened to them. 100 curtains were drawn. A dazzling light shone. At last they saw the Simorg, and they saw that the Simorg was themselves, and that they were the Simorg. When they look at the Simorg, they saw that it was indeed the Simorg. And when they turned their glance to themselves, they saw that they were the Simorg. In fact, the two made one being. No one in the world has ever heard anything like it. And not understanding, they questioned the Simorg. without using words. They ask him the great secret. Then the Shimog told them, also without words. The Son of my Majesty is a mirror. He or she who sees himself or herself in it sees his or herself and her or his body. She or he sees her or his as she or he is completely. Were you 30 or 40, you would see 30 or 40 birds in this mirror. You have done a long journey to arrive at yourself, to understand better the travelers. Then the birds lost themselves forever in the Simorg. The shadow became one with the sun, and that is all. The way is open, but there is neither traveler nor guide.